Criticism of Schopenhauer's Philosophy of Art and Beauty by John Vespasian. Despite his efforts to develop a coherent philosophy of art and beauty, Arthur Schopenhauer, 1788 to 1860, missed essential elements. His aesthetics theory is incomplete because it defines beauty as harmony and symmetry. That is, he exclusively refers to aspects perceivable by the senses. Why is Schopenhauer's art theory incomplete? Because it is leaving out major art forms. His arguments about harmony and symmetry are applicable to paintings, sculpture, architecture, or decorative arts. I would also agree that harmony and symmetry apply in the area of musical composition and performance. However, there is no way to apply Schopenhauer's argument to major art forms such as theater and novels, or their modern derivatives, film, video, and television. In his book, The World as Will and Representation, 1818, Schopenhauer depicted art as a consolation to the human mind because art helps assuage pain and suffering during hard times. However, his arguments about harmony and symmetry fail to explain why some novels and theater plays can help assuage suffering, but others cannot. Problems with Schopenhauer's philosophy of art. Schopenhauer's art philosophy is incomplete, but we can fill its gaps through the theories of Carl Jung, 1875 to 1961, a Swiss psychiatrist famous for having first used art as a therapeutic method. In doing so, Jung gained important insights about the nature of aesthetics. Jung's work stands in contrast to Schopenhauer's skepticism for emotional explanations. Jung explored the unconscious of his patients in search of insights that would enable him to steer them towards recovery and personal growth. In his book, Psychology of the Unconscious, 1912, Jung invented the labels introvert and extrovert to define human personalities. He also pointed out that people build their ideas off symbols and archetypes drawn from their culture. While Schopenhauer had focused his analysis on objective aspects, harmony, symmetry, and artworks, Jung observed that art includes symbols perceivable by the unconscious. Introvert and extrovert people can interpret symbols differently, but one cannot deny that those symbols exist in artworks. Missing aspects in Schopenhauer's philosophy of art. In his book, Psychology and Alchemy, 1944, Jung takes a highly optimistic view of art as a therapy method. He expected patients to employ artistic symbols to solve their psychological problems. Thus, he encouraged patients to draw and paint. Through his clinical observations, Jung had identified major aspects in art theory, aspects that Schopenhauer had missed. In particular, I'm referring to ability of artworks to convey ethical guidelines and a sense of purpose. The role of harmony in Schopenhauer's philosophy of art. Schopenhauer had shortchanged himself by concentrating on harmony and symmetry and missing the ability of artworks to convey ethical guidelines and a sense of purpose. I attribute his omission to the fact that his favorite art forms were music, painting, sculpture, and architecture. Jung's crucial contribution to art philosophy arises from his direct observation that patients struggle to articulate their fears, desires, and frustrations. Through artworks, they can perceive or express symbolic representations of their emotions. However, Jung reproduced to a certain extent the same error as Schopenhauer. Jung wrote on psychic energy in 1828 and therein theorized that art could help patients regain balance and harmony. Jung's conclusion is reminiscent of Schopenhauer's emphasis on harmony and symmetry. I disagree with Jung's conclusion because it contradicts the actual experience of art for most individuals. The audience for television shows, films, comic books, theater, novels, or video games is not looking for balance and harmony. Jung's contribution to art philosophy. The audience is looking for something else, something that Schopenhauer missed completely and that Jung perceived, but did not grant sufficient importance. In his book, Two Fundamental Problems of Ethics, 1843, Schopenhauer had realized the role that motivation and a sense of direction play in human happiness. Unfortunately, he failed to incorporate those aspects in his aesthetics theory, rendering it incomplete. After Schopenhauer's death, it took 2 generations until Jung identified the connection between art and psychology. It's not meant to glorify all sorts of literary art, especially the most basic such as video games and genre novels, but it has added crucial elements to aesthetics philosophy. If you are interested in applying rational ideas day after day to dealing with problems, I recommend you my book titled On Becoming Unbreakable. For more information, go to johnvespasian.com.